My story began when I was 10 years old, on a night in Ramadan. After breaking our fast, my friends and I would go out to play in the street until midnight. In our neighborhood, there was a large fig tree under which we used to play hide and seek and hide behind it all the time. That night, I was playing with 3 of my friends when suddenly, we all heard a strange growling sound. We thought it was a dog behind the tree, so we went to check. But instead, we saw a man of unbelievable height, about 4 meters tall. His facial features were clearly visible despite the surrounding darkness. He had a pale white face, a thick beard, and was wearing a coat similar to what European kings wore in the Middle Ages. We were terrified by the sight and immediately ran away. I rushed straight home, crying and screaming into my mother's arms. I told her what I had seen, and she tried to calm me down before informing my father. He took me to the tree to investigate, where we found my friends and their families also searching for the man. However, there was no trace of him. My father simply said, "It might have been just a madman or a homeless person sleeping behind the tree." And that was the end of it. As days passed, our fear gradually faded, but my friends and I avoided passing by that tree. One night, around 4 a.m., I was asleep in my room when I suddenly woke up to the same growling sound I had heard by the tree that night. I opened my eyes in terror and saw the same man standing in the corner of my room. However, this time he was shorter, of average height. I was paralyzed with fear and couldn't even scream or call for help. I felt like I was going to die from fright until my mother entered the room and found me in that state. She asked, "What's wrong?" I was shocked and asked her how she knew something was wrong and why she came at that moment. She told me that I had been screaming and crying loudly, filling the house with my voice. I was stunned because I hadn't made a single sound. I told her what I had seen, but no one believed me. My father said it was just a nightmare caused by my overthinking. At that moment, I felt a sharp pain in my stomach. When I looked, I saw deep scratches and wounds resembling writings. Everyone was shocked and finally believed my story. My father decided to take me to the local sheikh. But what frightened us even more was that my friends' families had also brought them to the sheikh, and they had the same marks on their bodies. The sheikh recited verses from the Quran over us and instructed our families to protect us with daily prayers and Quranic recitations. Thankfully, nothing happened after that, until I turned 25 and traveled with my father to France. One day, I was sitting in a public park during the daytime when suddenly, I heard the same growling sound that I could never forget, despite the years that had passed. I thought to myself, "Oh God, not again." I approached the trees to see where the sound was coming from, but suddenly, I lost consciousness. When I woke up, I found myself in the hospital with my father beside me. I decided to reconnect with my old friends, and when I called them, they told me they had also seen the same man again. That's when I realized he had returned, but this time, it was much worse. We saw him every night, and he left scratches and Latin writings on our bodies. We suffered from physical pain and terrifying nightmares. I became afraid to sleep, never went near trees, and avoided being alone. I lived in constant fear of his relentless pursuit. I went on a pilgrimage to Umrah, and for a while he stopped appearing. But as soon as I returned, I saw him again, standing among the crowd at the airport as if he were waiting for me. To this day, I don't know what to do. Don't forget to support us by subscribing to the channel and activating the notification bell to stay updated. If you like the content, hit the like button and encourage us to create more.